I mean, you were an 88% free throw shooter at BYU.
Yeah.
One of the highest in the NCAA. How did you do it and why?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think for me, it's very much muscle memory. Every coach will tell you, same routine every time, right? Because there's a like a psychological side of it too. Like the mental side is alone, let alone the physical side, having good mechanics when you shoot it. But it's more of like, can you get your brain into that like state? Some people will call like a flow state when everything just feels really easy and
in the zone.
Yeah, in the zone, or like a trigger, right?
Yeah.
So like that's kind of essentially what that pattern is. Like mine was 1, 2, 3 dribbles. I would say something in my head and then I would shoot it. And obviously there needs to be practice there, but yeah, like my mindset was there is nothing that can affect me in here, right? Like people are yelling at me, whatever, screaming, yelling, but like nobody can come up to me and push me, shove me, block my shot. You have that like assurance that it's just the same thing, just like you said, like it's the same thing every time. And so for me, it just became like, so what I would say, this kind of comes back to like, I used to say this when I was a kid. So I go 1, 2, 3, I can make this shot. I am positive at everything. I don't know why I chose that when I was a kid, but that was the phrase that I chose. And, I kept it a secret when I was a kid because I thought it was like this secret thing. But then as I got older, I started telling people, and I realized working with Dr. Craig Manning, who's like a world-renowned sports psychologist, that that's a power statement. So he would tell us like power statements are things you say to yourself to kind of get you in that right frame of mind. Like maybe you have a bad day or you have something that's going wrong in your life. The way I think about it is like you're spiraling down. It's okay to feel that way, but what's going to help you snap out of that? Because we want to try and stay out of that downward spiral. Because some people will go really far down, and it's like, well, if I can go here and then I have something to get me right back here and I've only, gone down that much, that's good. So like my whole life, I didn't really realize that was a power statement I was using. I was teaching my brain that's that moment to get me right back to where I was. And I think that, looking back and what I've learned with Dr. Manning, that naturally just kind of got me in the right mindset to perform the action that I wanted to perform. My brain knew it was time for that. So it was that power statement. And there can be lots of things you can use as power statements. And I quite frankly think everybody should have a power statement, no matter what they do. Because energy and enthusiasm and getting in that zone is important no matter what you're doing.
Right.
So yeah, for me, that's what I felt was the key for me to being good at free throws, was simply that confidence and that statement and the practice behind it. Obviously, you mentioned 50 free throws in a row,
Sure.
making them before you left. There's that side of it, but I think the mental side of it is what helps you like calm the nerves when tensions might get high, games on the line. It could be you're down 1, it could be you're up 20. It doesn't matter. It's the same type of shot. That's the kind of mindset I try to get myself in and then shoot it.
I think the power statement that's a real genius bit of advice for our listeners, because when you say things positively to yourself, you have a tendency to believe it. Our self-talk is one of the things that we're horrible at. I mean, we're just awful at it.
Yeah.
We're constantly beating ourselves up and saying, why did you do that? That was so stupid.
Yep.
And what happens is we believe it.
Yeah.
When we have a negative statement, we believe it.
Yeah.
If we have a power statement, we believe that too. So that helped you get into a state of mind where I can make this shot.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Dr. Manning, he describes it as the law of occupied space. Like, and I basically boiled it down to like faith and fear. They can't coexist in the same mind. You choose one or the other, right? Everybody's probably heard the story like which wolf is going to win, right? The one that you feed. And so I think it's really important that power statement gets you there, because like you said, I think it's really natural for us as human beings. It's just like if we leave that stage up there in your brain empty, negative things automatically go in there. It takes concerted effort and energy to put that positive thing there first.
Right.
So yeah, and I'm a big believer in that. If you let that negative thing come in there, then the positive has no room it can't be there, or vice versa.
Right.
So, yeah.
So I think that's really critical for people who lead other people, to make sure that they're always in the right mindset to lead people. Sometimes we're having a having a bad day. Sometimes things aren't going our way.
For
I'm sure when you're coaching kids at the Halford Academy, there's days when you're just...
I walk in, I'm tired. I'm like, oh man, there's 12 first graders in here right now. Can I handle that? I hope we have a policy where we limit it to 10. So, but
12 would be a lot.
That would be insane. Like there's days like that, yeah, where you're just like, I don't know if I can make it. So I think in reference to that power statement, it's like, can I flip that switch on? And sometimes it's a mental mindset. Sometimes it's like recently we were having our mental strength training call with our players, and we talked about like reset. It's just like an acronym for being able to, like, something bad happens or you're in this negative state, how do you get out of it? And one of those is to engage your body, one of those E's. And I think that's another one where it's like, I try and be really like, clap, like just a clap, like, hey, let's go. And it kind of sparks it. I remember one of my coaches at Salt Lake Community College, Coach Paul Marble. Shout out to Coach Marble, he's the best. But he would say, like, he would talk about how there's research behind just like raising your hands. Just simply raising and holding your hands above your head, and how that can just change how you feel. So like just little things like that. Maybe you're about to go into a meeting that you're just like not looking forward to, and you're in the bathroom just staring at the mirror, just like, oh gosh, okay, what am I gonna do? Just raising those arms up. I've got this. And that's a phrase that Dr. Manning talks about is a really easy power statement people can use for themselves is, I've got this, or I can do this. Yeah. And just seeing yourself say that, arms up, there's something about it, right, that they've studied and shows that those things can help you take on that challenge that you may not be feeling like you're ready for.
Well, that's some great advice you've given our listeners about that. And I hope that people will gather that the power statement along with the practice. The practice has to be done as well.
Yeah.
If you never practice talking with someone during a difficult moment, you'll never be good at it.
Yes.
And that practice starts with how do you talk about to yourself in that difficult moment? What are the things you say to your children in those difficult moments, your spouse, whatever it might be?
Yeah.
How do you prepare yourself with a good self-setting power statement and practice?
Yeah, absolutely. I know. We tell our players it's like, because there's some research behind visualization. So we talk a lot about that in our program too, where it's like, okay, I want you to sit there, close your eyes, and imagine that ball going in, right? And doing that 5 to 10 minutes a day can be really helpful. But it's like, does that mean you can just sit down in your house all day and do that for hours, right? Like, no, you got to get on the court, right? There's a balance, I think, in all things. You can't just, you got to have like, in each area, you've got to work on it. And so, yeah, the practice will never be gone. You've got to actually do the thing that you're trying to get good at.